Tempest Fugit donning the jammer cap for the Little Red Riveters.
And number 7, Tweedledoom out there with a star for the Deskar Derby Droids. Now, as you know, in the game of roller derby, the ladies with the stars on their helmets are the ones that score the points in this game.
Tweedledoom has been declared lead jammer. Lead jammer status gives that skater the ability to call off the jam at any time. And now, Tweedledoom choosing to right there.
That was a great move by Tweedledoom, considering she had been beaten out of the pack, but she was the lead jammer. She called it off, so no points scored in that last jam.
Medulla Oblongata with the jam cap for the Little Red Riveters. Hounds of Basherville wearing the star. For the Deskar Derby Droids.
That's right. Up front, the pack is right now is really slowing down, but they are called out of play. And they've got to let her go.
And we have a skater being sent to the penalty box. Skaters sent to the penalty box serve 1 minute of penalty time, but that time does not start until they sit down in the penalty box.
Hounds finally breached the pack, but number 8, Medulla Oblongata, calls off that jam after picking up 4 points on that pass.
Now, skaters that are sent to the penalty box, if they are seated in the penalty box when the jam ends, they remain in the penalty box until the next jam starts. When that jam starts, the time that they are serving their penalty will start to run down once again.
Now the pack from each team is made up. The pack from each team is made up from 4 players from each team, and those players are designated blockers, and they are out there to play defense and offense both at the same time.
Those blockers trying to stop Tempest Fugit and Bratmobile, respective jammers for their 2 teams.
Tempest Fugit makes her way around, hits that pack hard, calls it off after she picks up her points. 4 more points for the Little Red Riveters.
Now the blockers are tasked with playing both offense and defense. They are trying to play defense to stop the opposing jammer while also occasionally playing offense to help their jammer get through the pack. Medulla Oblongata back on the jam line for the Little Red Riveters. Number 76, C3P Ouch jamming for the Deskar Derby Droids.
Medulla Oblongata jumps out to lead jammer status right off the bat.
C3P Ouch trying to work herself through the pack.
That was a nice tight pack, and they slowed her down just long enough. Medulla Oblongata comes up. She does get called with a load lock. She will be spending her time in the penalty box.
Nice block by David Owie helping to draw that penalty. C3P Ouch drawing a track cut penalty. C3P Ouch headed to the penalty box.
Now what happens when both jammers go to the penalty box is after the last jammer into the penalty box sits down, the other jammer will be released. And now the jammer who just sat down only has to spend the exact amount of time the other jammer spent in that penalty box.
Medulla Oblongata pushes through the back wall, clear of the pack now. 5 points for the Little Red Riveters.
Nice slow pack, nice tight pack. C3P Ouch up against the front of a couple of those Riveters, gets knocked out of bounds and taken to the back of the pack.
Meanwhile, Medulla Oblongata slings by on the outside untouched. 5 points, Little Red Riveters.
C3P Ouch really getting worked over in the back by number 80, Tempest Fugit.
Medulla Oblongata again. If it works once, do it again. Round the outside. 5 more points, Little Red Riveters.
Medulla Oblongata goes right around the outside, picks up a grand slam on that pass.
Big Mac, great defense in the back, holding back C3P. Ouch.
And this jam comes to an end after 2 minutes.
Hey, the Magic's in the hole. Proud sponsor of the Rose City Rollers and the RoseBuds and the Wheels of Justice. That's Voodoo Donuts.
Tempest Fugit back on the jam line for the Little Red Riveters. Tweedledoom jamming for the Descar Derby Droids.
Tweedledoom right now trying to find a hole to get through. Tempest Fugit blows right through the middle of that pack. She's your lead jammer.
Meanwhile, Tweedledoom able to find a rail on the inside, gets through the pack on that initial pass.
Nice slow plaque as Tempest Fugit runs up into the back of there, calls it off, knowing the other jammer was right behind her. 1 point picked up on that pass.
Now, Tempest Fugit did a nice job not calling the jam until she knew that she had picked up 1 point in that jam and kept Descar Derby Droids scoreless.
Hey, if anybody's wondering, Hope Baraka, Realtor, helping Portlanders buy and sell their dream homes. That's Hope Baraka, Realtor.
Thank you very much, jamming for the Little Red Riveters. Kitty Scratch donning the star for the Descar Derby Droids.
They both came out of the front of that pack right at the same time, but Kitty Scratch is your lead jammer.
Scrum starts favoring Descar Derby Droids in this jam, King.
Nice hit on the outside. She engaged in the back of that pack, but right behind her is Thank you very much, and they engage right after they both clear that pack and score their points.
Both jammers taking opposite trips around the pack, one on the inside, one on the outside. Both jammers, though, picking up points.
Hey, if anybody's looking for some super tasty vegetarian, vegan food for thought, try the Vita Cafe. Magic Pony's favorite. That's the Vita Cafe.
Tectonic Rule jamming for the Little Red Riveters. Bratmobile back on the line for the Descar Derby Droids.
Bratmobile getting in front of Tectonic Rule. Bratmobile, though, trying to find her way through. Tectonic Rule, though, one player left to beat, gets knocked out of bounds. Bratmobile still in the back of that pack, gets called with a penalty. She's headed to the penalty box. Tectonic Rule goes around the outside and has to start at the back of that pack.
Bratmobile being waved back onto the track, engaging with the back of the pack. Both jammers still on their initial pass.
Tectonic Rule up in the front, gets knocked to the deck. He's got to start again. She finally finds the light of day, though. She's your lead jammer.
Medulla Oblongata, great defense in the pack, holding back Bratmobile, who's still working on her initial pass.
Bratmobile getting taken to the outside. She's going to have to start over again at the back of that pack. But Tectonic Rule comes in, blasts right through, and gets a grand slam, 5 points.
Excellent pack work by Little Red Riveters. Bratmobile seeing the light of day, knocked to the outside of turn one.
That was a huge hit down there. Tectonic Rule engages the back of that pack, makes her way through. Nice weaving to the outside. 5 more points on that grand slam.
Bratmobile being hung up in the backfield right now, still working on her initial pass.
Bratmobile finally found the front of that pack, but there's 2 blockers there waiting for her. Tectonic Rule engages the back of the pad, and Root of All Evil is back there to get her. She calls off that jam.
Lockdown defense by the Little Red Riveters. That was Medulla Oblongata working with Tempest Fugit out front.
We're gonna get this next jam underway, but I just wanna let everybody know, Magic Pony said he's cool.
C3P Ouch taking the jam star for the Descar Derby Droids. Big Mac jamming for the Little Red Riveters.
Big Mac runs right through the middle of that pack and gets out to be lead jammer.
Big Mac didn't need any offense there, created her own hole and rolled right through.
Tectonic Rules are still in the back of that pack. The Descar Derby Dames jammer all locked up, unable to find the light of day yet.
C3P Ouch having a hard time getting by Medulla Oblongata, who was working the backfield there for the Little Red Riveters.
5 more points being picked up on that last pass. C3P Ouch still having a hard time against that red wall, unable to get through.
Big Mac dances outside to inside, clears the pack on a scoring pass. 5 points, Little Red Riveters.
C3P Ouch still stuck behind there. A nice four wall being set up offensively, and they cannot get their jammer out.
Spinning records, some great defense for the Little Red Riveters there, keeping C3P Ouch at bay.
And Big Mac, she weaves her way through once again. That's another grand slam on the board for the Little Red Riveters.
C3P Ouch looking for some offense and getting some in the backfield. However, Little Red Riveters blockers again recycling to the front of the pack.
And C3P Ouch getting a lot of ouches out there as she is taken down in the apex once again. Big Mac now engaging the back of that pack. She's got one player left to beat, glides right on through. 5 more points.
C3P Ouch darting to the outside. Little Red Riveters waiting for her, giving her the exit push out of turn 4.
That's a great line out there that has really laid down an excellent defensive move. C3P Ouch still stuck in the back of that pack. Big Mac now engaged in the back of that pack. She uses her own players as a little bit of offense. It's getting knocked around, still trying to find her way through. This jam is done.
C3P Ouch unable to clear her initial pass. Excellent defense by the Little Red Riveters during that jam.
Sock Dreams, unique, comfy, sexy socks for the roller girl and everyone. Check out their new RCR socks. That's sockdreams.com.
I'm wearing some right now. Tempest Fugit jamming for the Little Red Riveters. Root of All Evil jamming for Death Scar.
Root of All Evil right now in the back of that pack, all hung up. Oh, but she found a help on the outside. Tempest Fugit, though, runs to the front while everybody was looking the other way. She's your lead jammer.
Small Fox, the Epidemic, taking out Root of All Evil.
Really nice defense being played on that inside. Tempest Fugit, though, finds a hole on the inside, picks up 5 more points.
Root of Evil also taking advantage of the chaos, gets clear on her initial pass.
Both jammers right now trying to work their way around. Tempest Fugit easily glides to the outside with a beautiful step, picks up 4 points on that pass.
Tweedledoom saw Tempest Fugit coming, couldn't quite get the extra step to lay the hit. Little Red Riveters in control, 76-9, with 12 minutes gone here in the first half. Tectonic Rule back on the jam line for the Little Red Riveters. And Abomination taking the cap for the Death Scar Derby Droids.
First up on the line tonight, and Abomination going around the outside. She is in the clear by the time she hits the pivot line. She's your lead jammer.
David Howie in the backfield held back Tectonic Rule. However, Tectonic Rule clear on her initial pass.
And Abomination in the back of that pack. She's trying to muscle her way through right now. This is exactly what Death Scar needs, is a little bit of help from their jammers to get some points on the board. Tectonic Rule so fast around that track, engages the back of that pack, trying to work her way through. And Abomination tries to get in. Oh, and she is, oh no, she didn't. She made her way through, picks up 4 points on that pass.
And Abomination would have had an easier trip through that pack, however got tripped up by a mess of blockers in turn 3.
A lot of penalties happening out there on the track. It's going to make it easier for Abomination, who just engaged the back of that pack. She's worked her way through. 4 more points as she calls it off.
Abomination was able to take advantage of a 3-2 blocker advantage on the track right there, skate through, pick up those points for the Death Scar Derby Droids. Thank you very much, jamming for the Little Red Riveters. Tweedledoom for Death Scar Derby Droids.
Tweedledoom engaged in the back of that red wall. They've got her locked down as of yet. Shank is taken out on the inside line, still trying to find her way through. She's like a pinball in there, been knocked out. Tweedledoom up front, she's your lead jammer.
Tweedledoom recovering from a hit by Tempest Fugit, which has knocked her at the outside of turn 2. Both jammers now clear of the pack on their initial pass.
2-on-2, blocker war on the inside. Tweedledoom engages the back of that pack, gets hit hard on the outside, and she takes a tumble in turn number 4. Thank you very much, came around with a lot of speed, forced the call off for the Descar Derby Droids.
Tempest Fugit set up Big Mac for that hit, knocking the jammer out of bounds. Excellent play by the Little Red Riveters.
Hey, I'd like to tell you about the Delta Cafe. Amazing Southern fare, big eats, and stiff drinks down there at the Delta Cafe.
Payne Forrest jamming for the Little Red Riveters. Root of all evil for the Descar Derby Droids.
Root of all evil. The unfortunate position behind a truck and trailer is getting knocked around on the outside. Number 96, Forrest Payne takes a hit, and she's on the deck. Lead jammer, Root of all evil.
Root of all evil able to take care of the pileup in turn two. Payne Forrest clear of the pack on her initial pass for the Little Red Riveters.
Both jammers right now trying to work their way around. Nice little block of war on the inside. Root of all evil calls it off while taking a hit and getting knocked out of bounds, but picks up her points. 3 more for the Descar Derby Droids.
Medulla Oblongata providing the exit hit there, forcing the Descar Derby Droids to call off that jam.
Hey, I'd like to tell everybody about John's Landing's favorite eatery and saloon. That's the Buffalo Gap Saloon and Eatery. The Buffalo Gap in John's Landing.
And Abomination right now in the back of the pack. She's got a lot of Red Riveters in front of her, but she managed to find the light of day, and she's free. Tempest Fugit unfortunately had some trouble in the back. She's finally breached that pack, though.
Lucky unintentional offense by the Descar Derby Droids sent an Abomination free.
Both walls are sternly set. And Tempest Fugit runs up, gets knocked out of bounds, and Abomination calls it off on her knees. 2 points, though, being picked up by an Abomination. Nothing for the Little Red Riveters.
Both jammers on that scoring pass, pushed to the inside and or outside. 2 points, though, picked up in that jam.
Davis Law Office is a law firm specializing in employment law, civil rights law, family law, and juvenile law. That's Davis Law.
Medulla Oblongata jamming for the Little Red Riveters. Tweedledoom jamming for the Descar Derby Droids.
Tweedledoom right now finally gets out of that pack, and it's a foot race to get to the back.
Little Red Riveters, 4-3 pack advantage on the track.
Medulla Oblongata hits the back of that pack, jumps to the outside. Nice footwork by Medulla Oblongata as she calls off that jam.
Helena Troy, nice screen, allowing her to get through the pack.
Jessica Chestnut and Guild Home Loans. Let Jessica Chestnut, the Derby girl, help you get a home loan. That's Jessica Chestnut and Guild Home Loans.
Bratmobile on the jam line for Death Scar. Thank you very much jamming for the Little Red Riveters.
Bratmobile hits that wall. Thank you very much. Around the outside, and she's your lead jammer. Bratmobile still stuck behind that red ball, escorted out of bounds.
Thank you very much. Should be thanking Tempest Fugit for that amazing offense on the inside rail.
Beautiful. And thank you very much. Hits that wall, blussed away through, but got knocked out of bounds. Finally, in the front, Bratmobile makes her way through. Thank you very much. Finally finds a lot of day, picks up her 4 points.
Descar Derby Droids didn't look like they were ready for Thank you very much as she easily skated through on that outside rail for that scoring pass.
Hey now, PDX Pipeline, your online source for Portland's music, arts, and events happenings. That's PDX Pipeline.
An Abomination jamming for Descar Derby Droids. Medulla Oblongata jamming for the Little Red Riveters.
Both jammers hit the back of those walls, and Abomination stuck behind that strong red wall in the back. And Medulla Oblongata up front. 1 player left to beat. She breaches that pack. On Abomination, escorted out of bounds, still trying to get out of that pack.
Medulla Oblongata, great job pushing the opposing blockers forward. However, Little Red Riveters, nice job keeping an Abomination at bay.
Real nice wall formation, but Medulla Oblongata gets through, calls off that jam, picks up 4 points. And Little Red Riveters right now sitting on 92.
Proud sponsor of all Portland Roller Derby, Pabst Blue Ribbon.
He's got a really good rhythm going on.
Tempest Fugit and Tweedledoom, jammer of records in this 16th jam.
Tempest Fugit right now finds a side that she wants to try and go through, jumps back to the inside. Tweedledoom, though, blows right through the middle with a little help from her friend. She's your lead jammer.
Tempest Fugit sent to the penalty box, back block penalty.
Tweedledoom engaged in the back of that wall, gets escorted out. She's got to try and make her way through. 2 players left to beat. She's still struggling to get through that pack. Nice red work up front. Penalties being called, whittling down the Little Red Riveters.
Root of All Evil being sent to the penalty box. Root of All Evil played some great offense. Unfortunately, Tweedledoom was unable to take advantage of that.
No pack being called. They spread way too far apart. 1 player up front, but Tweedledoom took advantage of everybody looking around, has pushed that pack way out front, picks up her 5 points, and is back to making her way around the track.
Tweedledoom taking advantage of a tough pack to define, very strung out.
Back block being called. Tweedledoom's gonna be sitting down on in that penalty box. Tempest Fugit engaged in the back of that pack that has been heavily depleted for the Death Scar Derby Droids. She's made her way around the pack. Blows right through, around on the outside line, picks up 5 points.
Tempest Fugit 10 points so far coming out of the penalty box for the Little Red Riveters.
She hits him head on this time, sideways, does a nice little spin, but gets called on a forearm. She's gonna be trading places with the Death Scar Derby Droids, jammer in the box.
Blocker advantage currently 4-2 in favor of the Little Red Riveters.
And instead of being passive, Death Scar Derby Droids jumped out there and tried to get her jammers out.
And a low block assessed to Tectonic Rule. Picked up a low block at the end of that jam.
We'd like to thank OHSU Sports Medicine. The OHSU Sports Medicine is proud to be the official medical team for the Rose City Rollers. Thank you, OHSU Sports Medicine.
3-2 blocker advantage for Death Scar Derby Droids.
And the jam has started. Kitty Scratch back there. Finally on her way, she makes her way through, and she's your lead jammer.
Illegal procedure being called. That is on number 1803, Helena Troy, false start penalty.
Kitty Scratch makes her way around the outside, picks up 5 points on that pass.
3-2 blocker advantage, Death Scar Derby Droids.
Right now, passive offense being set up, and Tempest Fugit engaged in the back of that wall. They were waiting for her as they came. Tempest Fugit makes her way around the outside and takes out the jammer on that pass.
Kitty Scratch cleared the pack, picked up 5 points, did not see Tempest Fugit coming.
Well, this jam came to an end with a lot of hitting, a little bit of a confusion, and 2 jammers out there scoring some points. Right now we've got a score of 49-100, and it's by no means out of play for Death Scar Derby Droids.
We have an official timeout down on the track. Our intrepid Derby correspondent, Magic Pony Power Hour, headed down to the track to find out what this official timeout is regarding.
They are withdrawing that illegal procedure penalty because she didn't do anything illegal. She wasn't even in the jam.
Well, all right. Official timeout, still out there. They're going to go over the box, make sure that everybody is attended to. Might have a little bit of blood, might need a little bit of medical attention. And as soon as we get everybody taken care of, we'll get this jam right back underway. So me and Mike Checks were up here wondering if Tektronicool was okay over there in the penalty box. Saw a little blood. Want to make sure everybody's all right. Looks like this jam's going to get back underway. Medulla Oblongata on the line with an Abomination. And Abomination tries to go on the outside. Medulla Oblongata getting muscled on the end. Medulla Oblongata is your lead jammer, and Abomination still trying to find her way through that pack.
Helena Troy trying to cause a track cut by an Abomination, unsuccessful though.
And Abomination engages, but gets knocked out of bounds on that pass. Still trying to get through. And Abomination does get escorted out in the apex. Medulla Oblongata still muscling her way through. One player left to beat. Gets taken down by a huge swing up front by Tweedledoom. And Abomination still having problems trying to get out of that pack, but Medulla Oblongata out in front, 5 points.
Nice job up front by Bratmobile and Tweedledoom trying to hold back Medulla Oblongata.
Medulla Oblongata tries to go around the outside, a whole lot of hit, and she's trying to call it off. But a back block being called on the pack.
That's Medulla Oblongata, recipient of that back block penalty. That's going to mean 1 minute in the penalty box for the Little Red Riveters jammer.
And Abomination trying to do that star cap pass successfully happens. And now Tweedledoom is your jammer on the track.
4-on-4 in the pack. Passive offense set up by Deskar Derby Droids. This is not the offense they were looking for.
Helena Troy had a smashing hit on side. And Tweedledoom had to pick herself up, but she started again, picks up 5 points on that pass.
The force is strong in that one, King.
Nice defense being laid down. Tweedledoom gets taken out by a Small Fox, and a track cut being called on Tweedledoom.
That track cut most likely courtesy of Small Fox there. Nice defense by Little Red Riveters.
You know, those track cuts can become epidemic.
Well played, sir. Bridgetown Chiropractic, the hardest hit of the night, brought to you by Bridgetown Chiropractic, DocBones.com.
Well, this is going to be an interesting start as both teams have all 4 of their blockers on the track right now, and both jammers were in the box. Medulla Oblongata gets to the back of that pack, engages, and has been knocked down the inside, still trying to weave her way through.
Tempest Fugit playing offense from Medulla Oblongata there. Tempest actually starting playing offense while Medulla was still in the penalty box.
Passive offense being set up by the Little Red Riveters. Medulla Oblongata hits the back of the pack, who was spread all the way out, but she does get escorted out of bounds, and turn number 2 has to start all over again.
Little Red Riveters blockers did a nice job closing the door so the opposing blockers could not recycle back. Medulla Oblongata gets through the pack, picks up 5 points for the Little Red Riveters.
And both jammers are now on the track. I think that she caught them all looking the other way. Tweedledoom made her way through. Tempest Fugit, or excuse me, Medulla Oblongata hit inside, didn't score any points, but called it off knowing the other jammer was coming around the track.
Tweedledum able to get through that pack quickly as the Little Red Riveters blockers were not aware she was coming. They were focused on Tempest Fugit.
Yes, indeed.
Magic Pony Power Hour.
Hey, Big Brothers Big Sisters Sports Buddies program. RCR is proud to be a Sports Buddies partner, encouraging young people to get active. That's Big Brothers Big Sisters Sports Buddies.
Big Mac
Bratmobile
jamming for the Little Red Riveters.
And Bratmobile out there trying to work her way on the inside line. Finds a lot of day, but it quickly gets shut.
So in a speed test, apparently Bratmobile can go just a little bit faster than Big Mac. Bratmobile clearing the pack first for the Death Star Derby Droids.
And right now there's a lot of hitting out there as they are battling for position, but none of it mattered as this jam just got cut off 0-0 for both teams.
New Belgian Brewing Company, proud sponsors of Rose City Rollers Roller Derby.
Right now the score, Little Red Rivers 113, Death Star Derby Droids 61.
Death Star Derby Droids captain Root of All Evil jamming for Death Star. Tempest Fugit jamming for the Little Red Riveters.
And Tempest Fugit, just like that, gets called with a black box. She's going to be headed to the penalty box. Root of All Evil, though, up against a strong red wall, has been taking some hits, still trying to work her way through. No pack has been called, and they've got to let her go.
Root of All Evil clearing the pack for the Death Star Derby Droids. And nice footwork as she clears the pack on that 5-point scoring pass.
And that right there was real easy handiwork as there was only 2 blockers out there for the Little Red Riveters. Root of All Evil engages the pack, skates backwards on that inside line, picks up 5 points.
Passive offense on display here by the Death Star Derby Droids. Root of All Evil working for every point.
Finally, Small Fox got a piece of her. It was a small piece, but enough to take Root of All Evil out of bounds. Root of All Evil right now up against one player in the front, gets taken out. That's number 96, Payne Forrest, the co-captain. Root of All Evil is down on the deck, took a lot of hits, had to really fight for that one. Calls off that jam, and she just wants to start this next one all over again.
That was a back block penalty that set tectonic rule to the penalty box for the Little Red Riveters at the end of that jam.
Hey, DerbyFit.com, Spark Rock, Recover, Repeat, RCR's independent Advocare distributor. That's Derby Fit and Spark by Advocare.
All right, that's going to take us into halftime, folks. Go down and get yourself a nice big old plate of nachos. Take yourself a bathroom break, because we're going to be back in 15 minutes.
Stephen Colbert just tweeted his approval of that dance party. Everybody get that? Who's going to get it? Okay, back to Derby.
Well, this jam's about to get back underway. We've got Ramona Pounder out there already on the jammer line, right along with Tempest Fugit.
Three to 2 pack advantage to start in favor of Death Star Derby Droids. Tempest Fugit out front clears the pack lead jammer status. Meanwhile, Ramona Pounder held up in the backfield.
Well, that was excellent defense by the Little Red Riveters to slow down and knock that jammer out of bounds, being so short-handed.
Red Riveters down to 1 blocker on the track momentarily. Tempest Fugit barrels through the pack, picks up 4 points on that scoring pass for the Little Red Riveters.
Like I was saying, the fact that Tempest Fugit navigated her way through the pack so incredibly fast, and the Little Red Riveters only having 2 blockers out there were able to slow down and stop the Death Star Derby names. It's a real credit to their strengths and taking advantage of what they had on the track. Small Fox out there right now with a jammer cap on. She's being pestered by Root of All Evil, number 97.
Derby Droids with a 4-2 blocker advantage, but Small Fox taking advantage of her size right through on the outside straightaway. Lead jammer going to the Little Red Riveters.
Well, right now, Little Red Riveters only have 2 blockers out there, but Small Fox used her small size to get her way through.
Small Fox hits the back of that pack, gets dropped in the far straightaway, stays on her feet, gets escorted outside of turn 3. but picks up 3 points for her trouble in that jam. Magic Pony.
Hey, the Portland Mercury, the food, the arts, the entertainment news you need. All of Portland loves that Portland Mercury.
Well, going into this next jam, being a score of 120 to 76, and having the Discard Derby droids out there with all of their players, this is exactly what they need to try and get that score up. Tweedledum right now on the line for Deskar. She's going to be met with Tempest Fugit, number 80.
Tempest Fugit trying to barrel herself through that 4 wall in the back of the pack. Medulla Oblongata, great defense up front, escorting Tweedledum to the outside of turn 1. Tweedledum quick to recover though. Lead jammer status going to Death Scar. Tempest Fugit clear of the pack on her initial pass.
Well, the numbers have come out there, and there's some great defense being played by both teams, and they're fighting for defense and position on the inside.
Little Red Riveters get 1 blocker back. Tempest Fugit decides to call the jam. Scoreless, 3rd jam of this second half.
Joe's Burgers, 4 locations, awesome burgers, and the official feeder of RCR Volunteers. Everybody check out Joe's Burgers.
Root of all evil, number 97, and Small Fox taking the line for their teams with a star on their helmet.
A lot of dancing by the blockers on the jam line. Small Fox this time trying to go on the inside of the front straightaway. However, it's Root of all evil clear of the pack. Lead jammer status, Death Scar Derby droids. Small Fox still trying to work her way through on her initial pass.
Well, you got to hold that for the Death Scar Derby team. They had some excellent defense, and right there, the only reason she got out was because of the excellent offense moves by the Riveters.
Small Fox clear on her initial pass. Root of all evil picked up 5 points on that scoring pass.
We've got a 40-point game right now, and as you know in the game of roller derby, that's easily made up with some good plays.
Hey, if you've had a chance to toddle over to the concession stand, you know it's Kay's Lounge delivering those amazing nachos and other fare. Kay's Lounge, thank you so much.
Number 9, An Abomination, taking the line. And Medulla Oblongata, I believe.
4-3 pack advantage to start this jam, this time in favor of the Little Red Riveters. Medulla Oblongata trying to go through the center. Tempest Fugit, great defense up front. Medulla Oblongata is your lead jammer. An Abomination fighting a 3-wall at the front of the pack.
Now that's just great offense out there. Number 7, Tweedledum trying to get her jammer out. He's got 1 player left to beat, but that was great eyes to know when you needed help.
Tweedledum now switching up, trying to play defense against Medulla Oblongata. Medulla Oblongata, 5-point grand slam for the Little Red Riveters.
There's a whole lot of hitting, and once again, there's a lot of help out there from the Descar's offense to get their jammer out, and she's finally free to go.
Tweedledum still trying to play offense. An Abomination now clear of the pack on her initial pass as Medulla Oblongata puts another 4 points on the board for the Little Red Riveters and calls off the jam.
Porque no?
Porque yes.
2 locations on, I totally forgot. That's amazing Taqueria Fair with 2 locations on the Mississippi and the Hawthorne. That's Porque no.
Three-two pack advantage to start the jam in favor of the Little Red Riveters. Big Mac taking advantage of that lead jammer status to the Little Red Riveters. Root of all evil now clear on her initial pass for the Descar Derby droids.
And this is a nice fast pack right now. Big Mac got through there, and right now, Descar's lining up in front.
4-2 pack advantage, Descar Derby droids. Big Mac trying to push her way through that wall, calls off the jam. No score in that one.
Well, she didn't want to lose any points. Right now, they've got a lead. They want to maintain that lead, and that means not letting the Descar Derby droids score any points. So if you've got the lead jammer, you just call it off anytime you want to keep them from getting on the board. We are going to see Bradmobile out there with Thank You Very Much.
Descar Derby droids taking the actual jam line. Red Riveters out in front. and it is Shank You Very Much able to clear the pack on the outside. Lead jammer going to the Little Red Riveters. Bratmobile being held up in the back of the pack, still working on her initial pass. Bratmobile pushing 2 up front to go. Unfortunately, one of those Tempest Fugit. Tectonic Rule helps branch the pack out.
And that was really excellent. Oh, there is a penalty being called on Shank You Very Much.
Skating out of bounds. Bratmobile now the only jammer of record on the track, trying to push against a 4-wall in the front. And a back block penalty assessed to Bratmobile.
Well, we went from a nice passive offense, Shank You Very Much being released from the penalty box, because as you know, roller derby's no fun without a jammer on the pack.
With both jammers having spent time in the penalty box, now this jam is going to go the full 2 minutes, and Shank You Very Much now being sent off the track for the Red Riveters.
Well, she tried to jump the apex there, and all she did was jump into the back of somebody. That is instantly going to be called. You can't leave your feet and hit somebody.
Bratmobile trying to push her way through that 4-wall of defense at the front of the pack. Number 77, David Owie, trying to get her some offense. Bratmobile still pushing.
And there's some really nice bridge work you're seeing out there. They can't get too far away from the pack. The pack right now is spread out, and that's excellent work up front to slow down that jammer.
That's Tempest Fugit and Tectonic Rule. Bratmobile clears the pack on her initial pass for the Death Scar Derby Droids.
But they did 2 fantastic things. A, they wore down that jammer. B, they spent the time needed for their jammer to get out of that box.
Nice recovery time by the Little Red Riveters. Bratmobile almost having a fresh pass through the pack. Does pick up the 5 points on that scoring pass, but had to work for every one of them. Magic Pony.
Well, it occurs to me there's a lot of parents of teenagers in the house today, and they might want to be stopping by Ron Tonkin Fiat to test drive a Fiat at Ron Tonkin and pick up some free Derby tickets sometime soon. Test drive one of those Fiats from Ron Tonkin.
Tweedledoom, the only jammer right now in the pack. Shank You Very Much, spending her time in the penalty box.
Tweedledoom quickly through the pack, picking up lead jammer for Death Scar Derby Droids.
Nice slow pack as they're waiting for their jammers to get around this track. Lots of hitting, though, going on inside as they're trying to clear some space.
4-3 pack advantage in favor of the Little Red Riveters. Shank You Very Much working her way through the pack, clear on her initial pass. Tweedledoom fighting against a 3-wall, now being sent off the track, now being waved back onto the track.
Little Red Riveters did an excellent job orchestrating that. They have broken up the pack. They got some penalties called, and now they're really taking advantage of the dwindled numbers out there.
Shank You Very Much taking advantage of this very strung out pack. 5-point grand slam, Little Red Riveters. Tweedledoom, not a lot of help out there on the track right now for the Death Scar Derby Droids. Shank You Very Much inside to outside. Another 5-point grand slam, Little Red Riveters.
And the Riveters right now got numbers, and they've laid down an excellent wall. They're not letting that black jammer get anywhere.
Tweedledoom escorted to the outside of turn 2. Shank You Very Much again. Fancy footwork, 5-point grand slam, Little Red Riveters.
Now that was a nice jump that was well orchestrated, and this time she didn't hit anybody and picked up those 5 points.
Tweedledoom struggling right now. She has no pivot to pass the cap to. The pivot currently in the penalty box. Shank You Very Much, and the Red Riveters able to take advantage as Shank You Very Much goes to the outside.
And right there, the Riveters see that she is exhausted, so they're laying the smack down and hitting her hard every chance they get.
Shank You Very Much exits the building. That was a very long 2-minute jam for both of those teams. Shank You Very Much being attended to outside. Did pick up 3 points on her last pass.
Tempest Fugit right now taking the line. She will be the next jammer. It looks like there's going to be an official timeout right now. And official timeouts. They're going to be reviewing what happens out there on the track. They want to make sure all the penalties are correct, the points are correct, and check up on the players. An abomination for the Descar Derby Droids. She'll be taking the star, and Tibbetts Fugit for the Little Red Riveters.
King Mike,
Yes, Pony.
looks like Red 66 has removed herself from the game, and that's all they were talking about.
Fair enough. That is, Thank You Very Much has removed herself from play for the evening.
And it looks like this An Abomination was ready to go. She heard that whistle blow, and that's all she needed. She started hitting right off the bat. Looks like they're still going to have some dialogue out there between the refs, trying to make sure everything's been assessed and everybody's in a good place. And Abomination up against the back of that wall. She's got one player left to beat. Tibbetts Fugit decides to peel herself off and go ahead and lay down a bridge.
And Abomination strings out the pack, picks up lead jammer status. Descar Derby Droids. Droids with a 4-3 blocker advantage in this jam, and the only jammer of record on the track, meaning it is their power jam.
And right now what they're doing is they're playing a nice passive offense.
Failure to reform penalty being called. Descar Derby Droids losing a blocker. That is Robin Hoodwink headed to the penalty box, and Abomination through the pack. 5-point grand slam, Descar Derby Droids.
Now the Riveters just took her back on that last play and spent a lot of time giving the opportunity to spend some time off the clock for their jammer.
Tempest Fugit, again, great defense up front, and Abomination trying to work her way forward. Tempest Fugit went out of bounds, and Abomination also went out of bounds, but came in front of her legally. That is a 4-point scoring pass. She does not get the 5th point on that pass.
And just like that, Forrest Payne picks up a back block. She's going to be sitting in the penalty box.
And Abomination calling off the jam. 1 more point to her credit. 2 more points to her credit at the end of that jam.
Well, that was a wise play. She got knocked out of bounds. Everybody ran back. She was going to have to spend a lot more time, but they've got a fresh power jam they can start off this next jam with. So I got to take my hat off to the coaching staff and for her heads-up play right there. Root of all evil out there once again all by herself. This is exactly the opportunity the Descar Derby Droids need to get back in this game.
Descar Derby Droids trying to change their luck, starting on the pivot line. Root of all evil pushes her way through, lead jammer status going to the Descar Derby Droids. David Owie providing some offense. Root of all evil unable to take advantage of all of it. 1 blocker to beat up front, and then she is clear of the pack. 5-point scoring pass, Descar Derby
And that was
Droids.
really good heads-up play by Ramona Pounder. She was on that inside line, and she cleared out some people to help her jammer get through.
Root of all evil fakes to the center, darts to the outside. 5 points to her credit on that scoring pass, King. Back block penalty being assessed to Root of all evil. She will spend 1 minute in the penalty box. Payne Forrest now has come out of the penalty box doing work in the pack.
Oh, and
some of that work as star pass to Tectonic, who is clear of the pack on her initial pass.
Interesting point. Now, they are not able to get lead jammer status now that they have done a cap pass like that.
Tectonic slams into that back wall, darts her way through the center, and that is a 5-point grand slam for the Little Red Riveters. Tectonic pushed to the outside of turn 1. Resets behind her blockers. Mac up playing offense. Pack is spread out. Tectonic pushed them all forward. Still got one to beat. And that's a 5-point scoring pass, Little Red Riveters.
That was orchestrated by Big Mac. She jumped up there, started knocking players around, and everybody followed her, causing a number of penalties out there to be called.
And an official review being called by the Death Scar Derby Droids. Remember, fans, each team has one official review that they can call per half.
Well, as you know, when in the pack, you can only get out in front 20 feet while blocking. So,
in theory, yes.
In theory, yes. You stretch those plays out by dropping players. That was one of those cases where she ran out, hit, and everybody just started running. She really spread that pack out and gave her jammer a nice opportunity there.
Little Red Riveters find themselves in control of this bout by a score of 162 to 107. We've got just under 15 minutes left to play in this second half. And we are looking at an official review being called right now by the Death Scar Derby Droids.
Now that's only 55 points. And as you know in the game of Derby, all you need is a couple really good jams. A couple good power jams are always helpful. And you can get that game right back under your belt.
Death Scar Derby Droids have been trying to push these jams, trying to pick up as many points as they can. Little Red Riveters have been playing some great defense, trying to keep that score gap exactly what it is, if not more.
Well, every time that Death Scars have gotten a power jam and racked up some points, the Riveters have instantly locked it down as fast as possible and capitalized on their situations when they get them. So right now what the Death Scars Derby Droids have got to do is stay out of the penalty box. As you can see right now, they've got 3 players sitting over there, and that's going to affect this next jam.
You know, King, I'm looking down there on the track, and one of those things does not look like the others. One of those things being Magic Pony Power Hour, our intrepid reporter. He is down there finding out exactly what this official review is all about. DJ Agent Meow imploring everybody to dance now through his music.
Well, Randy Pan is feeling the music.
Magic Pony Power Hour, what do you got for us, sir?
Black was debating the back block call at the end of that jam, and looks like the call is going to stand.
All righty, thank you very much, sir.
Well, right now, the Riveters are going to start this next jam in a power jam, and they've got number 8, Medulla Oblongata, on that jammer line with a star on her helmet.
Death Scar Derby Droids taking a page out of London's post-game handbook. 3-on-2 in the pack to start. Medulla Oblongata pushing up against that 2-wall. That's Tweedledoom and Kitty Scratch, but Medulla Oblongata gets clear. She is lead jammer.
Well, that was about all they could do out there. There was nice assists from each other, but
Medulla Oblongata showing off her fancy footwork once again clears the pack for a 5-point pass. Root of all evil working on her initial pass for the Death Scar Derby Droids.
Medulla Oblongata around the outside scores 4 points on that pass.
Happy to take her 4 points and call off that jam. Little Red Riveters extend their lead. Magic Pony Power Hour.
Hard-hitting games like this make me glad that Bridgetown Chiropractic and Doc Bones are sponsors of the Rose City Rollers. Get yourself adjusted and support roller derby. at DocBones.com.
Number 9, an Abomination on the jammer line for Deskar. 89, Big Mac on the line for the Riveters.
Big Mac got 2 blockers to beat up front. Separates them both. Lead jammer status, Little Red Riveters. And a track cut penalty for an Abomination. Power jam, Little Red Riveters.
Yeah, there was 3 blockers that escorted her out of bounds. She stepped in front of them, and that causes the cut track.
Big Mac rolls right through that pack. 5 points picked up on the scoring pass. Little Red Riveters having their way right now.
Deskar finally got some numbers out there, but it wasn't quite enough.
Big Mac through the pack one more time. 5 more points, Little Red Riveters.
Little Red Riveters right now setting up a sausage on the outside line. And that is what we call in this league passive offense.
Big Mac, 5 more points. That's 15 points so far in this power jam for the Little Red Riveters.
Little bit of offensive help there, but not enough, just enough to get them moving.
Big Mac spreads the pack out for another 5 points. That's 20 points so far on the Little Red Riveters side of the scoreboard, taking advantage of this power jam.
Deskar's going to do something different here. If something's not working, they're going to try a different approach. They all went behind the Riveters to start this next blocking war.
Well, and that opened up a huge hole for an Abomination, who clears the pack on her initial pass. Big Mac still trying to add a few more points for the Little Red Riveters. 3 more points for her effort, and the Little Red Riveters cashing in big on that power jam.
Well, if you can believe it, Mike Checks, there's nobody in that penalty box right now. It's going to be 5-on-5 to start this next jam. Mandula Oblongacha is the player with the star on her helmet for the Riveters, and number 7, Tweedledoom for the Deskar.
That power jam dug Deathscar a little bigger hole. Tweedledoom going to try and close that gap. She's out front first. Lead jammer status going to the Deskar Derby Droids. Anna Medulla Oblongacha, 1 to beat up front.
And that was excellent work up front to try and help get that jammer out.
Tempest Fugit trying to play the offense in the front. Medulla Oblongacha still working on that initial pass. Tempest switching up and now playing defense against Tweedledoom, who is working on her first scoring pass.
Now Tweedledoom came into that back of the pack, and she did a lot of demolishing to try and get through, but wisely she calls it off as she sees Medulla Oblongacha coming around.
Deskar Derby Droids did pick up 4 points on that scoring pass.
Tempest Fugit once again with a star on her helmet. She was doing the blocking in the last jam, but she's back out there once again. And that is Ramona Pounder on the line for the Deskar Derby Droids.
Deskar Derby Droids again, short one blocker. Tempest Fugit taking advantage, pushing her way through on the outside. Rail lead jammer status, Little Red Riveters. Ramona Pounder now clear of the pack on her initial pass. Tempest Fugit dancing through the pack. 4 points on that scoring pass for the Little Red Riveters.
Now the Little Red Riveters did their job on in the blocker war. They had fantastic defense, and they shut down that jammer for more than enough time for Tempest Fugit to get around and score their points. Tectonic Rule out there, 1, 2, 3, 4, and number 7, Tweedledoom, with the stars on their helmet.
We've got an official timeout on the track. Sunny Demolition was in the penalty box before the official timeout was called. Up 5.
Well, once again, as you know, when they call official timeouts, they want to make sure they've got the correct scores, the correct penalties, and that's right now what they're assessing.
Hey, Magic Pony, what's going on down there?
Apparently, the black team had the wrong skater in the box. They switched her out. Everything's cool.
Wrong skater in the box. Well, you know, like I said, you got to make sure the penalty's called on the right person, and the right person gets to serve their time. It looks like we're going to get this jam back underway in just a few 5 seconds.
Tectonic Rule opposite Tweedledum. Those are your jammers of record. Tweedledum going to the outside. Medulla Oblongata, last line of defense. Tweedledum, your lead jammer. However, Tectonic Rule outside. She is cleared on her initial pass.
Now, it looks like there was a low block called out there. It was a beautiful waterfall effect by the Riveters to take out that jammer. She did take her too low, and she's going to spend her time in the penalty box, but there are times when that jammer's on its way out, you got to say it's worth it.
So that's going to give the Death Scar Derby Droids a 3-2 blocker advantage to start this next jam.
Bratmobile back out there with a star on her helmet, right along with Tempest Fugit, number 80.
Death Scar taking the pivot line once again, trying to hold back Tempest Fugit. C3P ouch, last line of defense. Tempest Fugit through the pack lead jammer status going to the Little Red Riveters. Helena Troy dragging Bratmobile all the way to the back of the pack. Tempest Fugit traipsing through the pack. That is a 5-point scoring pass, Little Red Riveters.
Now that scoring pass was orchestrated by the defense from the Riveters, and there we go. The defense has caused the cut on Bratmobile. Great play by the Riveters.
Tempest Fugit a 4-wall to take on, has whittled those numbers down to 3-2-1, clear of the pack, 5-point grand slam, Little Red Riveters.
I'm really impressed with the Riveters' penalty protection. Even though they're short out there, they're doing their jobs and they're slowing it down.
Speaking of slowing down, nice job by the Death Scar Derby Droids blockers. However, Tempest Fugit clears the pack one more time. 5-point grand slam, Little Red Riveters.
Passive offense being set up down there. That means they're going to keep this pack at a standstill. Tempest Fugit easily blows through.
Tempest Fugit, 5 more points in this power jam for the Red Riveters. 3-3, the blocker numbers on the track, and Tempest Fugit keeps it legal and picks up 5 more points.
Nice wall being set up there, but they can't seem to slow her down. She's got too much speed.
Helena Troy, the nice passive offense there, almost a screen setup that allowed Tempest Fugit to pick up that last scoring pass for the Red Riveters. Timeout, Death Scar Derby Droids.
Now that was an excellent timeout and call off. What they've done is they've iced the jammer in the box. Now they've got Small Fox on the line, and she's going to start this next jam in a power jam. Gives her a better opportunity to get out and get lead jammer status and be in control of this next jam.
This Magic Pony Music Minute brought to you by Agent Meow.
Meow!
Stuff. Subject predicate. You don't want to go more than that when one camera is in. Does that make sense? Yep.
Small Fox going to be the benefactor of starting in a power jam. Her team down 1 blocker, but it doesn't matter. Small Fox through the pack, lead jammer status, Little Red Riveters. Bratmobile clears the pack on her initial pass. Small Fox going low, going around the outside. 4-point scoring pass, Little Red Riveters.
And that was excellent play right there. Small Fox saw the opportunity, got through there. She tried to pick up speed to make it around, but once she realized that other jammer was coming around the backside, she called it off just in time.
3 points picked up by Death Scar at the end of that jam, though.
Awesome instinct to have both of you remember that because they were trading gamers. It was still it was good that it stayed polarized. And how you covered that.
Number 13, Ramona Pounder on the track right now, right along with number 8, Mandula Obligaccia.
4-3 pack advantage in favor of Death Scar Derby Droids. Ramona Pounder able to take advantage of that lead jammer status going to the Derby Droids.
Now the Riveters tried to sweep in there and play some offense. Unfortunately, could not get their jammer out.
Medulla Oblongata going around the outside, clears the pack on her initial pass. Ramona Pounder working on a scoring pass for the Death Scar Derby Droids. 2 to beat up front. Big Mac draws the track cut. Ramona Pounder to the penalty box. That leaves Medulla Oblongata out on the track in a power jam, King.
And they have set up a nice sausage down there. They aren't going to let that jammer, they're going to let the jammer do the work and play that passive offense like they do.
4-on-4 on the track as far as the blockers are concerned, but it's the Little Red Riveters with the only jammer of record currently on the track. Medulla Oblongata, 1 to beat, dances around in turn 2, 5-point grand slam. Little Red Riveters.
And with the penalties right now, this is where they can really rack up the points. Nice offensive heads up by Tempest Fugit.
Tempest Fugit, great offense there in turn 1. Medulla Oblongata taking advantage for 5 more points for the Red Riveters.
And right now, what they've tried to do is trap one of the players while they're in this pack.
Again, Tempest Fugit going to the well, trying to pick that blocker off the inside of turn 1. Medulla Oblongata battling it out on her own. And she is clear of the pack for another 5-point grand slam.
I got to really hand it to Death Scar, though. They really used great defense and bridging to spread that pack out farther.
The offense is passive this time. Medulla Oblongata pushing the blockers out. Another 5-point grand slam, Little Red Riveters.
And everybody's taking it back right now.
Ramona Pounder fighting that 3-wall in the back. Medulla Oblongata clearing the pack on 1 more grand slam for the Red Riveters and calls off the jam. 2 points for the Death Scar Derby Droids.
Now that was a long jam, and the Little Red Riveters really capitalized on that penalty. They used excellent defense to draw the penalty in the first place by using truck and trailer moves and running the jammer out of bounds. Once they got her to do that cut, it was all up to the jammer they had out there to score those points.
Head ref Darth Bling asking one of the Red Riveters skaters to depart the track. Meanwhile, Tectonic Rule, first one through the pack, calls off the jam.
Well, there was a question about the skaters on the track, but yeah, they went ahead and called off that jam, get a fresh pack in there. What they're also doing is capitalizing on the little bit of time, and they're rolling it down. We've got number 89, Big Knack, taking the line for the Little Red Riveters, and number 97, Root of All Evil.
Both jammers trying to push out the opposing team's wall. Matt going to the outside, then cutting back to the center. She is your lead jammer for the Little Red Riveters.
Now the Riveters are doing a great job defensively. They've driven out the jammer, and they're holding her back there.
Big Mac starts on the outside, continues her run there. 5-point grand slam, Little Red Riveters. Root of All Evil being sent to the penalty box for a multiplayer block.
Not something you see very often for a jammer.
Big Mac rolling right through the middle of that pack and also rolling now to the penalty box, picking up a back block penalty.
Well, as soon as she sits down, she's going to release that other jammer, and that is going to, the amount of time that the other jammer has served will be exactly how much she gets to serve. All the blockers are out there right now, and they're battling for position, getting ready for this power jam.
Root of All Evil forced to go it alone, and a back block penalty on Root of All Evil. Root of All Evil not happy about that call whatsoever as she takes the long trip around the penalty box, still jawing at the referee.
And we have traded power jams right here. Everybody's ready for the next onslaught.
Big Mac and Little Red Riveters now in a power jam. Big Mac slowly pushing out that wall. Foot by foot, out of play called.
Now, when you get the out-of-play call, you've got to let that jammer go, and it's your responsibility to know how far out you are. That's a good call by that ref.
5-point grand slam for Big Mac. Big Mac again going to be pushing out that wall. No pack is called. 5-point grand slam, Little Red Riveters.
And that's unfortunate out there. The Deskar, they had fallen, and
Helena Troy picking up the track cut penalty. She is exiting the track. Big Mac through the pack. 4 more points on that last scoring pass. And a team timeout being called by the Deskar Derby Droids. Fans, this may be your last chance during play of this bout to get up and dance in the stands, so why don't ya? That's right, folks in the Spark Zone section, we appreciate you. Well done. It's a dance party in the hangar.
Aw, yeah. Oh, and that excited it right. We got dancing down all around us now.
Magic Pony's up here cutting a rug. It's insane. And you're raising them as if you don't have any hair.
They will. You guys see that? He scratched last bout since 8 went out. I'll announce that at the end.
Tectronicool, the only jammer out there right now for the Riveters. Slight pack advantage, though, for the Deskar Derby Droids.
With 54 seconds left on the period clock, this is most likely the last jam of the period. Tectronicool pushes her way through the pack. Lead jammer status going to the Little Red Riveters.
That was nice work by the Riveters blockers to open up a little bit of hole, just enough to get her through.
Tectronicool. Boost the music just a little up. Music just a little bit. Tectronicool going to return to her bench area and a team timeout being called by Deskar Derby Droids.
And yeah, we're having a timeout on the track. Deskar wants to talk about it before they get their troops out there. Sunny Demolition taking the line for the Deskar Derby Droids. She's going to be joined out there with number 89, Big Mac.
All right, fans, I'm going to ask you real nice, please, to be getting on your feet and making some noise in this final jam of the night. All 4 teams have worked really hard this evening. Why don't you show them a little bit of love?
No Amy! No Amy whistle.
33 seconds left on the period clock. Three to 2 blocker advantage for the Deskar Derby Droids. Mac trying to push on the inside. Sunny Demolition dropped to the outside of turn 1. Big Mac still pushing up front, still pushing, trying to clear the pack. She is through. Lead jammer status goes to the Little Red Riveters. Sunny Demolition clear the pack for the Death Scar Derby Droids.
Both teams out there did fantastic defense, and that was just a matter of pushing the pack too far apart. Then both those jammers had to be let go.
Big Mac dances to the inside, completes her scoring pass. 4 points and calls off the jam.
Once again, the defense from the Riveters really orchestrated right there at the end to get those extra points on the board. We've got an unofficial score right now of 285-116. Little Red Riveters right now in the lead, and I believe it's going to stay that way.
And we have gone from unofficial final to final. Little Red Riveters 285, Death Scar Derby Droids 116. Fans, make sure you stick around. Magic Pony Power Hour will have the team MVPs after the victory lap. Little Red Riveters taking their post-bout lap. And the Death Scar Derby Droids. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, this was Kitty Scratch's last Rosebud bout. She will be aging out of the Rosebud program. Congratulations to Kitty Scratch. Magic Pony Power Hour, we're going to kick it down to you for the MVP awards.
Thanks, baby. Hey, bring me your captains and let's get the MVPs done. Yo. Yo, bring me your MVPs. And who have you nominated?
Ramona Pound Her.
Ramona Pound Her. Ramona Pound Her. There she is. Awesome. Thank you so much. And Death Scar, who have you nominated?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. Thank you.